U.S. and allied forces make strikes against Houthi rebels in Yemen in retaliation for Iran-backed strikes against U.S. forces abroad. Right on cue as we enter 2024 and the elections approach, we have World War III on the brink. Oil prices spike as tensions increase. The United Kingdom and Australian forces are united in this effort to end the attacks from the Iranian-backed Houthis.
Well, over the last month, we've seen a significant increase in the number of Houthi attacks on commercial shipping in the Red Sea. That's putting innocent lives at risk. It's disrupting the global economy, and it's also destabilizing the region. And in that time, we've also seen the single biggest attack on a Navy warship, a British Navy warship, that we've seen in decades. Now, it's clear that that type of behavior can't carry on. That's why we joined with allies in issuing very public condemnation of this behavior, and it's why I made the decision with allies to take what I believe to be necessary, proportionate and targeted action against military targets to degrade and disrupt Houthi capability. We won't hesitate to protect lives and ensure the safety of commercial shipping. The types of things that we've targeted are launch sites for missiles and for drones. Initial indications are that those strikes have been successful. We'll continue to monitor the situation, but it's clear that this type of behaviour can't be met without a response. We need to send a strong signal that this breach of international law is wrong. People can't act like this within impunity, and that's why, together with allies, we've decided to take this on.
Overnight, a stunning barrage by U.S. and British forces. A wave of Tomahawk cruise missiles launched from a U.S. submarine and Navy ships backed by fighter jets. The target, the Iran-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen that have been attacking commercial ships in the critical Red Sea for months now. The Pentagon confirming the strikes, backed by 4 U.S. allies, hit over 60 targets and 16 locations, destroying weapons, radar and surveillance systems, and unmanned vehicles.
Clearly, the intent here is for the U.S. and the U.K. to take out any military capability that the Houthis might have to continue to harass shipping in the Red Sea.
These 27 attacks, claiming they're retaliating for Israel's war with Hamas. It's causing a costly disruption to shipping in the Red Sea, a vital route for billions of dollars in trade. An estimated 15% of world commerce passes through the Red Sea. Major shipping companies now forced to sail around Africa to avoid the violence.
Here's a warning. America and Britain will have to prepare to pay a heavy price for their aggression. Well, that's a threat from a Houthi official after the U.S. and the United Kingdom launched major strikes in Yemen.
The strikes were in response to Houthi attacks on ships in the Red Sea. This growing conflict also raises the prospect of a widening war in the Middle East. Chris Mitchell brings us the story from Jerusalem.
President Biden authorized the strikes that hit at least 16 military sites in Yemen. Since November 19th, the Houthis have hit ships from 40 different countries.
These attacks against vessels in the Red Sea pose a direct threat to lives, to freedom of navigation, and to global trade in one of the world's most critical waterways.
The Houthi attacks have had a major impact on global trade, since around 15% of that trade flows through the Red Sea.
What's happened because of these Houthi attacks against commercial shipping is that thousands of ships have had to divert, take longer routes, pay more for insurance, and that gets translated into higher prices for people for everything from fuel to medicine to food.
On Thursday, the UN Security Council condemned in the strongest terms the Houthi attacks. The attacks come as Israel is keeping up its assault on Hamas in Gaza, but facing criticism from some in the U.S. On Capitol Hill, Senator Bernie Sanders introduced a resolution that could cut aid to Israel. The Senate is scheduled to vote this Tuesday on a bill targeted at Israel that would require the State Department to report every 30 days on alleged human rights violations in foreign countries. If the State Department fails to issue a report, all security assistance to Israel would be cut. And at the International Court of Justice, Israel is defending itself after South Africa put forward its argument that Israel is committing genocide against the Palestinian people in Gaza. Yet one more front facing Israel during its darkest hour since the Holocaust. Well, Gordon, they have a variety of arsenal and weapons in their arsenal. They have attack drones. They have ballistic missiles. They can have about a 600 or 700 mile range. They fired one at Israel, was shot down by the Arrow anti-missile system. They have anti-ship missiles, anti-ship mines. So they have a variety of ways they can decide to retaliate against the United States and Israel or any of the shipping in the region. It remains to be seen exactly how much damage the U.S. and the U.K. strike has done on the Houthis' arsenal right now. So we'll see how they can respond and when they will respond.
Is there any danger that this could turn into a much widening war in the Middle East and force both Britain and the U.S. to deploy ground troops to take out the Houthis?
Well, that is a possibility. I mean, the Houthis are just one front of multiple fronts. You have Hezbollah in the north. You have the Iranian-backed militias in Syria and Iraq. You also have the West Bank is another front that Iran is trying to provoke. Whether or not U.S. and U.K. troops would actually be on the ground there in Yemen, I doubt that, but I think they would have maybe a more robust air campaign to try to destroy what the Houthis have done. This is remarkable, Gordon, to be able to affect 15% of the shipping of the world. It's also sort of a de facto naval blockade on Israel. And finally, the U.S. and the U.K. responding, as well as 4 of the nations that backed last night's attack.
Thousands of people in Yemen's capital chanting, "Death to America, death to Israel." And Houthi leaders are taking to the airwaves to vow a fierce retaliation, which further raises fears that a wider Middle East conflict may be in the offing.
Thanks for watching here at Quantum Stellar, and don't forget to check back for new content. Every day we edge closer into chaos. Keep your doors locked and your head on a swivel. Hope to see you back soon.